Hello and welcome to Crypto Assets Daily. And today we'll be going over the whole market and also BTC, Ethereum, and XRP. So stay tuned. So as we see, the market today is pretty green, mostly green. Barely any coins are going down. And we can see that the market cap is 255 billion, which is up from yesterday. Yesterday was around 249, so we have a bit of a gain on that, as well as the Bitcoin dominance has gone up a little bit as well. We can see that Bitcoin is up 4.12% on the 24-hour. Ethereum is up 2.8, and XRP is up 2% on the 24-hour as well. So a positive green day today, and let's get into the charts. So first we're going to go into BTC, and probably as always I'm probably going to talk mostly about BTC today because it is the main driver of value in this market. It is a very important asset, and if you're investing in any other assets, and to be completely clear, I've invested in all three of the assets that I'm going to be going through today, so I have no bias. But if you're investing into any asset in the space, you need to know what BTC is doing and basically what you can expect. So after we had this big capitulation event with the whole pandemic scare and so on, we've ran up quite a bit, and we've actually made this trend line here that seems to have quite a bit of an importance to the price. Not only that, but right now it seems that we're consolidating into a pattern that is usually pretty bullish, and it's called an ascending triangle. So an ascending triangle is a triangular pattern that has a ascending uptrending support and a horizontal resistance. So this is what we're having here, and usually these patterns break to the upside, especially coming in from an uptrend into the pattern. This is even more bullish, but it could also break to the downside, depends on how things go. And you know, these markets, basically no one can predict them. You can just, have some views on things, but you can never predict everything. So it could break to the upside, but it could also break to the downside. In my opinion, there's probably 80% chance that it's breaking to the upside and only 20% chance of it breaking to the downside. But still, we need to take into consideration both scenarios. So what we're seeing today is actually a bounce off of this trend line, and this is something I talked about in my last video, is that I would expect a bounce on this trend line because we have a trifecta of support right here. So we have the trend line that seems to be pretty important. We have the daily EMA ribbon also holding us up, and on top of that we also have the support box that is also supporting us. So I'd expect us to impulse here and get a leg up and at least retest the 10K level. So actually after the video yesterday, I decided to go into the 4-hourly time frame to see if to see how this thing is actually going. So sometimes I usually prefer looking at daily candles on a daily time frame, because there is way less noise, and you can read the price way better. But sometimes I go into a 4-hourly time frame just to see things a bit up close and see how they're going. And what I saw yesterday is actually a pretty obvious falling wedge that we had here. A falling wedge that is usually a pretty bullish pattern. So as you can see, the price is bouncing in between those two trend lines like that, and it's falling, it's a wedge, and then it breaks up. So this is what we're seeing basically now. Although we're not having that much volume, I'd like to see more volumes than what we're having here, but it's still looking pretty promising. And today, I mean, on a daily time frame, from the bottom to the top, we have moved 4.8%. So a 4.8% gain in a day is nothing to scoff at. And we'll have to see how this day goes on. It's 4 p.m. in the UK right now, so there is more time to this. But yeah, basically what I was trying to say is that I had noticed that we had this falling wedge, and later after recording the video I saw that, and it seemed pretty obvious that it was a falling wedge, and it broke to the upside. So right now we should expect to retest this 10k level once again. Let me remove these two and go into the daily. There we go. And as far as targets go, I'd say 12k for the upside, and initially 6 or 7k for the downside. 7-6, something like that. But again, I think it's more likely for it to break to the upside. And as you can see, this resistance box right here is basically the only resistance here. This whole spot is basically empty, this whole area. So after we clear this resistance, I'd say we're going straight up to 12k, and that's what I'm expecting in the coming weeks. And this week I'm expecting us to, by the end of the week, probably retest at least 10k. And soon probably go and test 12k. Okay, so let's go into Ethereum now. And Ethereum, again, nothing really different than BTC. The only difference between Ethereum and BTC is that Ethereum is way further in this triangle than BTC. BTC is halfway in, Ethereum is almost at the end, a bit over 2/3 into this triangle. So we could expect Ethereum to break before BTC does out of the triangle. So if BTC goes up here, okay, goes up like 9-10%, and it hits 10k. So it goes up 10% and it hits 10k. Even if Ethereum underperforms as it is doing today, it's underperforming by a percentage, by 1%. So even if it does that, even if it underperforms with like 3%, it's still going to break this trend line. And if we don't underperform, if we go straight up, 10%, just like BTC, well, we're gonna break it quite certainly. And with that, I'd expect us to then go and retest 250, 260. But yeah, Ethereum looking pretty good as well. Also seeing a bounce today, again off of this trend line that seems to hold a lot of importance. Now going into XRP, XRP is still lagging behind a little bit. And actually, I watched the price today, and XRP started going up before Ethereum and BTC, but ended up underperforming in the end. As you can see, it has a bit of a wick on this daily candle, and this is mostly because, well, the daily ribbon is above it, and also we have a 4-hourly ribbon as well that we've actually broken. We've actually broken this 4-hourly ribbon, but we didn't break the most important EMA, which is this purple one. We should have broken it as well, and that would mean it's way more bullish than it is right now. But basically what we had on XRP is that XRP was lagging behind BTC, and it was lagging behind Ethereum. So when Ethereum and BTC fell down here to retest their trend line right here, XRP actually broke through that trend line and also broke through its daily ribbon, whereas on Ethereum and BTC, those two things held. Again, if XRP were an asset that is completely separated from the whole market, this is pretty bearish. You can expect it to hit to 16 cents, okay? But very importantly, It's not, okay? It's not its own asset. It is highly tethered to BTC, and if BTC is bullish, and if BTC moves and retests at 10K or goes up and, you know, tests 12K, XRP will do the same. So just as it's doing today, even though it's underperforming a little bit, it's still up 2%. At most today it was up, how much? Today it was up, yeah, like 4%. So it was up as much as like BTC and Ethereum were up today. It just has a bit of a candle, a wick here because of the ribbon. But yeah, I mean, I'd expect it to follow, and I don't think it's gonna fall if BTC and Ethereum go up. So basically, this is what I'm seeing in the charts, and I'm pretty happy to see that we're actually seeing this bounce that I was anticipating yesterday. We'll have to wait and see where this goes. I'd like us to see an even bigger bounce here to maybe 9.5, and possibly retest 10K. That'd be great by the end of the week. And yeah, that's it. If you like the video, like, comment, subscribe, and peace.